Sam still coming to you from my parents' garage. Weekend, so it's okay for me to look like a bum. So just wanted to introduce the application or the app that I'm looking to make using AI, and the inspiration behind it and the features to go with it. So just quickly about myself, I run an AI consultancy. I automate business processes. So a lot of this work that I'm going to be talking about, I already have done. Some of it I haven't. So it'll be interesting to see how far we can push it. Background in cybersecurity, which is interesting because the whole AI gold rush, I would say, has just opened up the Wild West for cybersecurity, and for the next few years, there's going to be a lot of security problems. And yeah, I use AI to build this presentation. So what's the inspiration? So a week ago, ClawBot was released. It got renamed to MaltBot and then got renamed again to ClawBot. And it was a personal AI agent that stitched a whole bunch of tools together and was proactive. Now, the issues that came along with it was quite difficult to install, very difficult to install, especially if you're on Windows. The configuration use was difficult. And with ClawBot, there's no easy way to roll this out to a company, nor there's any security controls around it, especially in terms of controlling your data. So it serves as the inspiration. I'm not here to redesign it in business context. It's just sort of open my eyes up in terms of how you can take existing tools, stitch them together and create a pretty amazing product. So the idea was to take all my tools that I've created for other businesses, for other businesses for automating their processes, and I guess bringing them together into one useful tool. This will be aimed at small and medium-sized businesses running the Microsoft 365 space. It's just because that's where most of my existing knowledge is. So the core philosophy, it needs to be transparent. Owners and staff have to know what's happening, and they need to know why an AI has taken an action. Need to have the human in the loop. It's super important. It's not a buzzword. It's because the AI needs time to learn, what it should do and what it shouldn't do. Out of the box, it's just going to take actions where 50% of the time it's okay, 25% of the time it's good, and 25% of the time it's wrong. It's going to cause problems. So with the human in the loop, you get to give it guidance and feedback, which then the AI learns off. All right, and that's something at the moment you can't avoid. From experience, it takes probably about a week of I guess babysitting to make it helpful. It needs to be simple to roll out across the entire organization, and actually be helpful. Not just give you reports or have a chat to, but take action. So get into the feature set. We've got the executive suite. We're going to have email intelligence. This is where the owner or managers get to see everything that's happening through email. Customer engagements, any staff members that aren't replying fast enough or have missed emails to customers. Company intelligence, so all the data gets ingested by the AI and give the owners some direction and guidance. Proactive alerts around issues that might be arising, issues around problems that it thinks it might arise, and also what actions or strategies you can put in place to improve your business. And might be a little bit controversial, but myself as a business owner, I want to know what my staff are up to. I want to know if they are replying to emails, if they're missing important customer interactions on that side as well. So the operations suite is where everyone gets to be involved. Organizational memory, this is the heart of this application. So we're going to ingest all the organization's data. So it's going to be email, meeting notes, existing CRM, finances as well. And this is where people will be able to, ask and get useful information about the organization. When I say people, I mean staff. The next one is an interesting one. It's going to be challenging to do, but it's around process intelligence. It's quite difficult for small, medium-sized businesses to figure out what processes are actually happening, what workflows are actually happening. So most processes aren't written down; they're in people's heads, and it just happens. It's very, very normal for small, medium-sized businesses. So this is going to be a utility that looks across the entire organization, and will start to collate and group common processes to give the business information on which processes are actually happening and where to focus the automations on. And the next step would be to then actually create those automations based off that process intelligence. The next one is the CRM, and the whole inspiration around this is to have a zero data entry CRM. It's just going to go through the data that comes in, so your emails, your notes, and just automatically attach notes and information to the relevant customer. It has to be hands off, otherwise it's just not going to be helpful. Finance suite, this is where the AI gets to be the CFO. Need to integrate with the finance app, but I'm just going to start with Xero. That's just because it's quite popular here, and that's what I use. It can review profit and loss, give you the finance reports, questions and answers around the financial health of your company. In terms of being proactive, I wanted to look for savings, stuff that you're spending that you might not need, and also then automate, your typical financial tasks such as bookkeeping, expenses, leave, etc. IT and security suite. So we're looking to not completely replace your IT service provider or your MSP, but definitely reduce your spend and reliance on them. So we can provision new accounts, so new employee, create all their accounts. An employee leaves, you can revoke all their accounts as well. IT cybersecurity, identify or remediate cybersecurity risks. A little bit tricky, this one, because it does impact employees and how they work. So we'll have to have an approval process in place, and also let the owners or management know what impacts that cybersecurity control will have. Windows troubleshooter is an interesting one. I want the AI to be able to identify and fix those issues. So instead of bringing up the MSP, your IT provider, you just tell the AI agent what issue you have, and it attempts to troubleshoot it. Again, this is going to be all Windows-based and Microsoft 365-based. So we'll see how far we get with that one. Compliance reports, don't know if there's going to be much use there. We might probably just drop that. And the last is identifying cost savings to reduce your IT spend. So looking at licenses that are not used, essentially in the Microsoft 365 space. Productivity suite, we want mailbox automation. We want, it to highlight emails you need to reply to and draft responses, pre-draft those responses, and let you know what emails you need to send, and what you're waiting on. So you might have sent an email and say, hey, I need this information. You're never going to reply. It's going to be proactive in that space. And again, the organizational memory, where you can ask questions and get answers about the organization. Training suite. So once you combine everything into the organizational memory, it does open up to being a mentor. The AI can be a mentor to new staff, and this is especially helpful for industries that have a high level of churn. You're constantly bringing on new staff, constantly training them. It tends to take out your senior staff while they answer questions and train them up. And the idea of this is to get them productive straight away and reduce the reliance on those senior staff. Outbound marketing. So this is where we can start to do outbound marketing. This is where I already have a lot of, this is where I've already delivered a lot of this already to other customers. Cold email, social media, outreach, business intelligence. So again, and it's all wrapped around that memory, the organizational memory as well, where you get to tell it what works and what doesn't, and it learns. It's always learning and getting better. The automation suite, probably not much interest to most people, but this is the technical side where we stitch everything together and orchestrate all these features and functions. So how it all comes together, you can see the organizational memory and the automation engine are the core, and they just feed into the rest of the features. All right, so next episode we're going to be actually starting the planning with the AI agent. So you haven't seen how AI builds out a product. You always start with the planning process first. So this is just me, I guess, brain dumping what I want this product to do, what I think is going to be very useful to business owners and organizations on the small and medium size. So just let me know if we miss any features. That's not a problem. All right, see you next episode.